So what are the different types of scholarships that are currently available at SOIL, and how can the students get them?
How can ordinary people be made extraordinary? That was the core philosophy of this particular school. So, from ordinary to extraordinary, we looked at how other people who have been serving the nation, as say, for example, foot soldiers in the defense, the paramilitary forces, how can we actually give them some financial support so that they can come and join an institution like us and get.
So what do you think is the difference in our having a 2-year MBA program and a 1-year program? Like usually the students with work experience come to you in your 1-year program. So what do you think, sir, makes the 1-year program more competitive or different than the other programs?
So you see, typically a 1-year program is.
Hi everyone, welcome on board. This is Anisha here. Today I have invited with me Professor Anand Bachhawat from SOIL Institute of Management. Sir is currently a professor of marketing and has been at SOIL for the last 14 years, which is more than a decade. So we are going to take from Sir some cheat sheet on how can we get scholarships at SOIL, what are the different scholarships, and since Sir is the director of the PGP Programs, that is the 1-year programs, so let's understand from Sir why should one look at doing a 1-year program, and let's get started. So welcome on board, Sir. It's lovely to have you on the channel today.
Thank you, Anisha. It was nice of you to have called me over here, and you gave a beautiful introduction of mine. I would add to it that I have some 20 years of industry experience before joining SOIL. So all put together, I have more than maybe 34, 35 years of experience.
So the students who are listening to us, the amount of years that you have been born, usse zyada sir has experience in the industry and teaching. So make sure you watch the video right till the end and take notes of all the important learnings. In fact, sir, thank you for bringing up your industry. Sir, what I have seen, you have been a veteran in the industry when it comes to even the FMCGs, like your tenure with Dabur and all. How was that journey? Sir, as a kid, when I was there, I always wanted to work in, the FMCG industry. And during my MBA days, that was like the dream profile and role. You want to get into those roles. You have lived that life. Sir, if you would shed some light on that, would be really nice.
Just a quick correction. It was not Dabur, it was Amul. It was
Oh,
much
sorry,
bigger
yes,
organization
Amul.
as compared to Dabur.
Yes.
And the fascinating thing about Amul is it is actually today world's number one brand when it comes to liquid milk. So India is number one and Amul is number one in terms of milk production and milk processing.
Yes.
So, and it is a cooperative. It is not a private sector and an MNC. It is a cooperative which is led by farmers. Now, the journey was actually one of the most fascinating journeys because what I really understood was business was not about simply making money, it is about impact. So, when you know that you have created impact on more than 50 lakh farmers of a particular state, then you know that what you are doing is something which is meaningful rather than simply making profits for some shareholders.
True.
So the whole concept of SOIL, if you look into it, and why did I actually move from an FMCG sector, which was predominantly a cooperative movement, not a very high-paying company at that point of time.
Yes.
And in fact, we were more moved by the fact that they were doing something which was for the masses. But when I actually thought of joining SOIL, the whole idea was we saw that this particular school was also looking at how can they create more impact. So it was not about simply looking at placements and giving people jobs. It is not about simply giving some knowledge and then thinking, okay, my job is done. It is about how can we create more leaders who can create impact. So the outright philosophy of SOIL was how can we build character, how can we build competence, how can we build enthusiasm, so that the students who pass out, they do not simply look at a pay package. They look at what is the impact they are creating outside. How can they be more responsible leaders? How can they create organizations which are more responsible towards the entire ecosystem rather than just the shareholders?
True. That's interesting, sir. And with that, sir, like you spoke about impact and bring in more leaders. So, what do you think is the difference in our having a 2-year MBA program and a 1-year program? Like usually, the students with work experience come to you in your 1-year program. So, what do you think, sir, makes the 1-year program more competitive or different than the other programs?
So you see, typically a 1-year program is meant for people who have had significant experience in the industry. So typically we say minimum 2 years of experience, but ideally if you look into it, the students that we get here, average experience, for example, in this year, the entire batch, if you look into it, the average experience is 3.5 to 4 years,
Okay.
with some of them having more than 7, 8 years of experience also. Now, what happens is in a 2 year program, generally what happens is there are freshers who are coming in, so they have to be given grounding in terms of how does an organization work. So you have many subjects which are basically exposing the students and making them understand about organizations. Basically, for example, how does an organization work, the structure, the hierarchy, the layering, and all those things. But when people come with experience, they have a good amount of understanding of how organizations work. So they have an understanding of basics of how the market works, the consumers, the employees, all those things. They have a really decent understanding. What they come there for is to primarily accelerate their knowledge and see to it that how can their existing knowledge be supplemented by some added, competencies, so that they can, sort of leapfrog in the industry. And there are primarily, I believe that there are 4 reasons why people actually look at a 1 year program. They want to actually, what is called a domain shift is what is their objective. They wanting to shift from, say, operations to a marketing, or maybe operations to a finance role. The second reason is they want to actually change sectors. They're already working in manufacturing, they want to move into, say, digital marketing. They're working in the financial sector, they want to move into, say, for example, insurance sector. The third reason is they want to move up the ladder in their own organization. So there are many organizations which probably say that, okay, if you are not a management graduate, we would not actually give you a promotion. There are certain organizations still that we have in India who are so hung up on this.
Yes.
And the fourth reason is people actually feel that, yes, they need to improve their own skill sets so that they can perform better in a job.
Okay.
So this is the reason why people come to the 1 year program, because to do this in the entire 1 year program, all the faculty and the teachers who come here, they have significant industry experience. They have minimum of 15 to 20 years of industry experience. Many of them are CEOs and CXOs of different companies who come and teach here. So you are getting a hands-on experience of, not through the books, but through the practice of senior leaders.
That's interesting, sir. So basically, we are saying that if you compare a 2 year versus a 1 year, there's nothing that 1 year is going to miss out on. You're going to have the same impact of your curriculum, uh, put it in a consolidated format in a 1 year, and you're expecting the same outcome from them in when they go back to the industry, because they are better equipped for new skills which right now the companies are looking.
Yeah. So if you typically look at a 2 year program, the number of teaching hours there would be spread over the 2 years would be around 14 to 1600.
Okay.
In a 1 year program also, we have around 1100 to 1200.
Okay.
So typically in a 2 year program, you will have an internship, 2 months internship, and you will have, summer vacations and winter vacations. In a 1 year program, it's a rigorous program. We don't have an internship because people already come with, work experience. And they might do some live projects, but a full-fledged summer internship of 2 months or 3 months is not something which is there in a 1 year program. So the number of subjects are almost the same. The rigor is more. The speed with which we cover the course is more, because the uptake of the student is also high because of their experience.
Yes. Okay, sir. So that's really interesting. Good to understand the difference between them. So now talking about, like we said, that SOIL offers a lot of scholarships. So what are the different types of scholarships that are currently available at SOIL, and how can the students get them?
So when we started this particular institute long back, our founder, Mr. Anil Sachdev, he had some very path-breaking ideas in his mind. How can ordinary people be made extraordinary? That was the core philosophy of this particular school. So from ordinary to extraordinary. And we know in India, there are lots and lots of people, because of various circumstances, they probably did not get an opportunity to scale up, to reach to the best of the institutions. So they might have studied in the hinterland, they might have gone to some, local schools in different smaller cities, but they have the potential to make a difference. So how do we identify them, and how do we see to it that we can actually bring them in the mainstream and give them an opportunity to get to know the best from the best? Okay. So we created a scholarship mechanism where it was not purely on the basis of tangible parameters. We have that also. We have merit scholarships, but apart from merit scholarships, we also looked at the need-based scholarships. We looked at how are the people who have been serving the nation, as say, for example, foot soldiers in the defense, the paramilitary forces. How can we actually give them some financial support so that they can come and join an institution like us and get knowledge from some of the top leaders? We looked at some of the farmers. You would be surprised that there are, since I am from Amul and I've been inspired by Dr. Varghese Kurian, we thought that how can we see that farmers who probably they themselves could not get higher education, how can they be identified and their children be given some scholarship based on
Lovely.
certain parameters. So we have a Dr. Varghese Kurian scholarship.
Yes.
Then we have some special achievement awards also. For example, somebody is a great artist. And I'll just take a minute here to tell you that in both our schools, what we do is both our programs, we use multiple intelligence as one of the basis for selection.
Okay.
And multiple intelligence means that it is not that only IQ is going to make a difference. We are looking at EQ, we are looking at social quotient, we are looking at political quotient. We are looking at all those 9 quotients which are important to make a good leader. So we thought that there are people who are exceptional dancers, exceptional singers, exceptional cooks. They are maybe good in sports. They are good in yoga. How can we identify those meritorious achievers, and we can also give them some amount of scholarship? So these are the different categories in which we in fact have divided all our scholarships. And till now we are fortunate that we could get, a few of the candidates who have been with this of a background, and they have proved to be exceptional.
Lovely. That's interesting, sir. So, sir, since we have different categories of these scholarships, which is special award, profile, so I can say that, we are looking at holistic profiles, beyond
Yeah,
the
yeah.
academics, what have you done, what has been your journey till now. So, in terms of now, sir, how can they get it? Is a student expected to explicitly apply for these scholarships separately, or every candidate who's applying for soil is by default eligible for all of these?
So let me go slightly more deeper into the scholarships, which in fact I briefly told you about the categories. The scholarships generally range from around, a lakh to 5 lakhs. This is the range,
Yes.
depending upon, various parameters. And the overall scholarship amount that we have is around 4 crores. Around 4 crores of scholarship we actually distribute. Now, how do we give it? So primarily the one scholarship where in fact we do not have much to do is the merit-based scholarships. So if
Yes.
you have high scores, if you have high GMAT scores, if you have high GAT scores, so typically for a PGDM program, for a 2-year program, what we see is if you are 80% plus in 80 percentile percent plus in CAT, 80 percentile plus in ZAT, or other exams that we have given 600 plus in GMAT, then you actually become eligible for a merit scholarship, and then we actually look at the top ones. Actually, we give them. That is the criteria where in fact we do not have much of a say. It is basically your competence and your grades which actually matter. But apart from that, when we look at need-based scholarship, so need-based scholarship, we actually say that it is not just about somebody says I need money. So
Yeah.
we have actually put some parameters there. Say for example, if the person has a family income of less than 5 lakh rupees a year,
Okay.
then you are eligible. You are a needy person. You would probably need support. Along with that, we see other things also. Like for example, he has been a consistent performer in his academics. He has been regular there. He has gone to study some reasonably well. He has passed all our other eligibility criteria. And then we actually say that yes, you are eligible for a need-based scholarship. Then
Okay.
we have this Varghese Kurian scholarship. Varghese Kurian scholarship also, you have to have a 100% farming background. Your father
Okay.
should be a farmer, and that
Got it.
farmer should have an income of not more than 5 lakh rupees.
Okay.
Now, and similarly, for defense personnel, your parents should have been in either the army or any of the paramilitary forces, BSF, and all that. Then you are eligible for that. And then we have the Unique Achievement Award. You should be a national awardee, or even some cases the state awardees can also be. Say sports person, if you have played in the Ranji Trophy, then you probably become eligible for this sort of a scholarship. Now the
Okay.
point is, how does the student apply? So generally you have to get enrolled first. If you are selected, enrolled, then you can apply. Everybody is eligible to apply on all of these roles, all of these scholarships. So once you get enrolled, then you will actually say that okay, yes, I want to apply for a particular scholarship, and then you can apply. And then the selection scholarship committee sits and they actually decide who would be eligible and who would not be eligible. The important part is the documentation part. So if you say that your family income is less than 10 lakhs or 5 lakhs, we say we need evidence of that.
Okay.
So normally in a salaried class person, what happens is you can give your ITR, you can give your Form 16. But what happens is typically if you are a businessman, if you are a farmer, then you have to get a certificate from the rightful authority, which could be the panchayat there. You can actually go and get a certificate from there. This is my annual income. Or if you have filed any return, then you can actually give those returns. So
Okay.
those documents are important. We need to verify that.
Awesome. That's lovely. So basically, we will do the validation for all the students who are applying in for us. Sir, if I may ask, like you said, the value ranges from 1 to 5 lakh. How many students or how much cumulative does soil in a year give out in terms of the scholarships?
Yeah, so that's why I said I added that the scholarship amount that we normally give is around around 4 crores is what we disburse
Lovely.
between all these different
Yes.
categories.
Yes.
And that ranges from 1 to 5 lakhs. So it depends upon, say, for example, need based.
Yeah.
The selection committee decides whether a particular person needs 5 lakhs scholarship or 3 lakhs or 2 lakhs, depending upon what is the type of income they have.
Okay.
If he's a very needy person, probably, and a very poor person, but he's actually good in terms of his academics and other things, and he has come here through the proper selection process, maybe we can give him 5 lakhs also.
Lovely. Great. So that's pretty interesting. So one last question before we sign off. You might also be taking students interviews when the students are coming for MBA. What do you look in the students? What is that skill that would excite you, that I want this kid in my class?
Yeah, so Anisha, this is an interesting thing that we all interviewers, we actually want that we should interview people for their attitude,
Yes.
not typically for their skills, because skills have been tested through various other exams that we have. If we have the right attitude, and we say the attitude, primarily there are 4 things that we see in an attitude. The first thing, whether the student has learnability or not, whether he is open to learning. The second thing that we see is whether he has reflection ability or not. If he has been successful, what enabled him to be successful? If he has failed, does he know what are the reasons why he failed? Does he reflect back on why he actually failed or succeeded? The third thing is how good he is at decision making. Can he actually handle ambiguous situations? If he is choosing soil, what are the factors that he kept in his mind before choosing soil? So decision making ability or a critical thinking ability, how good he is at. And the fourth thing is we actually see whether he has actionability or not. Can he implement things? Has he done something hands-on, or is he just ideas in his mind?
Okay.
So if we say that these 4 things are there, then he has the right attitude. And if he has this right attitude, then obviously he would be the right fit for soil.
Brilliant. That's really amazing, sir. Then that helps to understand what are we looking at. Sir, any parting thoughts or advice to all the students who are listening to us, who would probably sitting for the various entrance exams and various college interviews right now? Your advice to these youngsters?
You see, by default or by design, I have been in this industry for almost 14 years, and before that in the industry also for 20 years. I would just give one piece of advice to all the students. Whether you pick up A school or B school or C school, the one thing that you should always keep in your mind is you have to serve your nation.
Yes.
Country comes first. What is the impact you are going to create after getting the knowledge that you have? Your knowledge is not for your own self. Your knowledge is to create impact in the outside world. Look at that and see which school is going to help you create that impact the most.
Lovely. I think that's a very beautiful advice. So all the students who are listening to us, make sure you start focusing these skills when you sit out for interviews, because this is what the industry and our industry leaders are looking for. So let's prepare ourselves for that. And if you have any further doubts or questions, do drop in the comments and we will take that up, and we would request A.N. Bhattacharya sir also to help give us little cheat sheets to make sure we crack our interviews. And all the best. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much, Professor, for being on this channel. It was lovely to have a conversation with you today.
Thank you, Anisha. All the best, and all the best to the students also. Look forward to seeing more and more of you on the chatbot.
Thank you.